Hey, I hear you. All right, moving on. The other 3:30 game, we got 19 Miami on the road going to Florida in Gainesville. This is a interesting game. Miami's only a 2.5 point favorite. Going into it right now on a was this Monday night. Um, I got Miami winning this game. I don't know what Florida is. Florida is a team for the last couple of years. You've got all the talent in the world. You recruited well. Um, I don't know what to make of Florida. I really don't. I think somehow, some way they go out here and lay a goose egg. If they win, hey, whoop-de-doo. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. But that I think that'll have more so to say about Miami than it will have to say about Florida. Miami coming in there with one of the top transfer portal quarterbacks in Cam Ward. I think he's looking to put on a show and kind of make his statement of why he's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, or why he believes that he should be. Um, I think Miami goes in there, they get the win. I think it'll be more than I'll take the over on this. This is something I'm rolling with. I got Miami 2 touchdown win against Florida.
So, do y'all remember this game meaning something? This game used to
Yeah.
mean something, and this game was played early in the season. It's always been played early in the season, and it was Spurrier, uh, you know what I'm saying, and Butch Jones, and I mean, they was 1-2 starting the year out. Florida State was probably like 3. I mean, this meant something back in the day. I want this game to mean something again. Is all I'm saying. Now, this weekend, it don't mean as much. Now, Miami has a chance to get a stronghold on the ACC. They got a chance. Clemson's gonna lose on Saturday. The two top teams in the ACC are gonna lose. Miami, you rank 19 or whatever. You win this game. You can go ahead and make your march toward being one of the best teams in your conference. What do you do? This is what should happen. Now, I'm counting Florida out because of their schedule. Now, this is me not looking at this game as an individual game. I'm looking at Florida's schedule saying there's no way in the world they do anything with this schedule. And it starts with Miami, which I'm picking them to lose. Now, I don't know much about Florida. I don't know much about Miami. I just know that Florida's coach is looking at the next 12 weeks, 13, 14 weeks, shaking his head, scratching his head, asking his wife to give him massages every night, even when he ain't do nothing, just because it's just going to be that brutal. Okay. But with all that being said, I would love nothing more than to see Florida come out and take it to Miami and win this football game and change the narrative. Everybody is counting Florida out. Everybody's counting them out. And I can, again, only imagine that their coach is probably counting them out too. He got the job and said, dang, man, I didn't know it was going to be my schedule in 2024. Yes, this is what you got to deal with. I want to see Florida come out and play football this weekend, right? If they don't, homeboy is out. He's out. This was a bad hire. It starts the ball rolling downhill the wrong way. If they lose tomorrow, if they win, they got an uphill battle, but they won this game. They got a little respect going to the beginning of the season. I do have Miami winning the game by a touchdown, 24-17. But again, I really hope Florida shows up.
So to me, with this game right here, this is an SEC podcast, and I don't think any of this game has to do with who Florida is as an SEC team. I think with the hype coming into the season, it's all about Miami and can they be the team that they predict themselves to be. Now, to me, I see people starting to really have faith in Miami as being a top tier team this year. I just really don't see it. So saying the fact that Florida is not going to be anything this year, like Sean said, just because of their schedule. I'm sorry, Gator fans, you're bottom of the barrel when it comes to this year's SEC. This is what's going to happen. So when you think of Miami and who they can be, if you stumble against this Florida team, I'm sorry, I just don't know what else to say about it. Somebody's got to take the reins of the ACC. And I know it's not an ACC podcast, but somebody's got to. Clemson Florida State or Miami. I need one of y'all three to take the reins. I think Florida State, to me, is most likely out just because they lost to an ACC team. Clemson's going to lose this weekend. Miami, it's up to you. You got a 3:30 game in the swamp. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hot. It's going to be muggy. It's going to be humid. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere. Can you handle everything that the Gators going to throw at you? To me, when you think about the Florida Gators, everything that y'all are looking for is down the road. It ain't this year. You might as well just get your binoculars out and look deep down the road because you got a freshman quarterback who, to me, is going to be somebody like another Cam Newton, another Anthony Richardson, where if y'all put the pieces around him, he can be the guy you want him to be, but that's down the road. We're not there yet. This year, Florida, you got to come out with a big time win this week just because we're the SEC. We want to see the SEC win. But Miami, all eyes are on you for the first 6 weeks of this year. We cannot have another goose egg like we've had in years past. So I think this week for Miami is going to be a staple point. I think they come out on top by at least 10. I can see a 28-14 type of game, maybe 28-17 type game. But we're going to see what this has to what's going to unfold with these two teams. The Swamp is nothing to play with, so I hope that Florida can dig back on his roots on who they really are deep down inside of them and win this game. But I'm not too enthusiastic about it. We're going to see. Let's go, Gators. Let's go.
All right, moving on. 4:15. We got my South Carolina Gamecocks taking on Old Dominion. I'm excited to get eyes on this game. I'm not too hyped on South Carolina this year. Looking for them use this year to kind of get the wheels back on the track. You fell off last year. You figured out, hey, you didn't have any depth on the O-line. You didn't have I think the biggest statement I can say for last year's O-line was you didn't have a consistent starting five on the O-line until week 9. Every week you had a different combination of O-line. You cannot do that in the SEC. They've shored that up. They brought some guys in from the transfer portal. You've got some freshmen in there that have really made their mark. I think it was announced today actually their true freshman has beat out some of these older guys, which is what I wanted to see because Shane Beamer has a track record of being loyal to guys that's hung around longer than they must kind of want it to be. Let these young guys who can play, get them on the field. You bring in Rocket Sanders at running back. He's lost his weight. He's gone back to where he was year before last with Arkansas when he was up there with Junkins as one of the top 2 running backs in the SEC. This is going to be a very run-heavy offense with Lenore Sellers using his legs, using Rocket Sanders. They said from everything I'm hearing, the defense is going to be the staple of this team. They've shored up that defensive line. They're supposed to have one of the top defensive lines in the conference. But that wasn't the issue going into last year. The issue last year was the secondary. You let everybody throw all over you every single game, especially coming out of the slot. You can't put a safety at the slot, get a corner in there, or get somebody that knows how to play that nickel position, which I believe they will. But I think you go into this game against Old Dominion I'm not looking for a blowout. I don't want to see a blowout because then everybody around here gets all hot-headed and, you get, oh, we're back. We finally got it going. No, give me a simple game where by halftime we're comfortable. I can enjoy some food. I ain't got to sit here stressed because every South Carolina game, you got to have a heart attack before you get a win. Let this thing be over at halftime. Figure out who you are because we on the road at Kentucky next year. I got South Carolina winning this one. Give me 27-14 as a win for this. We're going into it as a 21-point favorite. I'll take the 27 points. The main thing I'm looking for this is get your rushing yards. Give me 180 rushing yards. I'll be happy. Get the running game back going at South Carolina. That's when they were good. It was because you had a good defense and a good running game. Play off of that. Give me that. We're straight. Got South Carolina winning this one, starting the season 1-0. Get the wheels back on the track under this. Get the Shane train back going in the right direction. Let's get it going. South Carolina winning this one.
Absolutely. Carolina's going to win this game big. What I really want to see, Shane Beamer's a really good coach. Now, whether he's a lead or not is yet to be seen. I think he's a really solid coach. And I think what happens sometimes is you get coaches like Shane Beamer at schools like Carolina, right? It's a coach that really hadn't done much, a school that hadn't really done much. Both have a lot of potential. They got everything it takes to get it done, but sometimes, most oftentimes, the ball just doesn't bounce in your favor. I've seen injuries derail Shane Beamer from winning some big games. Last year against Georgia, he
Yeah.
was a wide receiver injury away from winning that game.
Yeah. You
Uh,
keep juice, you good.
right, you know what I'm saying, and so I want to see him with a healthy team all year. That's what I want to see. I want to see what he does with a healthy team. I think if Beamer has a healthy team all season long, he's easily a consistent 8-win coach on the SEC schedule. Right now, does that make him elite? Maybe not, but does it keep his job?
Yeah.
Absolutely, it does. You know what I'm
Around
saying? I
here.
mean, and he can start building some things and getting some players that believe in him and some players that will stay long enough for them to have a seasoned team every year full of seniors and juniors and seniors, while all the other teams are just full of freshman phenoms and sophomore phenoms heading to the draft next year, right? This is how Beamer wins, but I just want to see him with a healthy team. And that's my ask and my hope for the Gamecocks this year. We're hoping to get up there, man, and catch a night game in Willie B, man. My boy is ready to get up there and see it, and we're jazzed about it. And I'm a huge fan. I got Carolina big in this game, man. Praying for an injury-free season, man.
I'm gonna pop this balloon a little bit just to be the realest of the three. One of the great pleasures I have is to live here in the state of South Carolina to where I can get a fresh feel for the Carolina fans I run into on a daily basis. And it's not looking good right now for Carolina fans. It's not looking good. The excitement that I used to hear in the voices of Carolina
Oh no,
fans
it's gone.
is not there anymore. They kind of just hopeful for the season. Well, we're glad we get to watch some football. It's never what the outcome is anymore. So, in today's world, with how tough the SEC is, I don't see it getting any better. I think, Sean, to your point, Shane's 8-win streak is going to come to a test this season on some real high marks just because you have a lot of really tough games on your schedule. So I think starting fast is going to be everything for South Carolina. I really hope that they have what their identity is going to be early and or they find it in this game. Because next week we got Kentucky. At Kentucky. The game after that, we have LSU coming to South Carolina. We got two games that can really make or break our season when you think about what our overall record is going to look like towards the end of the year. So it's nothing to really take a second to smell the roses when it comes to Carolina football. It's going to have to be, we got to be the best version of ourselves after this game coming up. And I think that's something that can really be tough for what Carolina has. So we're going to see. I truly pray for a promising season when it comes to what Carolina's going to come to the table. But is it going to happen? Is the quarterback that we have going to be the quarterback that everybody thinks he's going to be? I don't know. I just really want to see that everything come together for this team to where they don't get left in the dust by what the SEC is going to be. SEC is going to be a conference where 6 to 7 wins are going to get you fired. And I just don't see too many more seasons of what South Carolina going through that's going to last a lot longer. So I really hope the best for them. I really hope everything transitions into their way. I do think they're going to win this game. So a good weekend in Columbia. I think we're going to be in Columbia this weekend, so we get to enjoy some of the festivities. But outside of that, we're going to see what Carolina can do. We're going to see what Carolina can do. I hope it's a new page that's being turned in this book for Carolina because the SEC is here. If you're not your best self at the end of this season, prepare to get washed away. So Carolina winning big by 3 to 4 touchdowns. I got everything being celebratory on their end. I got them hosting their new quarterback. I got them hosting their new offense. I got the defense being a strong point in this game. But we're going to see how the rest of the season is going to unfold.
All right, moving forward, we're gonna go to the 6 o'clock game, Mississippi State, Eastern Kentucky. I know we dragging this video on a little bit, but let's skate past this one. I have no clue what Mississippi State is gonna look like this year. They're gonna get a win. They're slowly seeping down to the bottom, close to Vandy territory. Matter of fact, I won't put them that low. It ain't gonna look like a promising year down there and for Mississippi State. They'll get this win. Go ahead and enjoy it while you can. Don't know how many you're gonna get this year. Mississippi State wins this one.
State with the win.
Mississippi State with the win. Nothing to watch here, folks. Unless you got ESPN Plus.
All right, let's move on. Finally, we here at Bama. I'm gonna let y'all guys take it away. Bama's taking on Western Kentucky in the night slate. I think everybody's eyes will be on this one to see what this team looks like post Nick Saban. I really think this team is gonna be better than a lot of people. I don't know why so many people are whispering about Bama's, they're done. It's just Georgia and Texas, and then Bama's kind of floating there in this kind of weird space. But that's my other team I got in the SEC championship game facing off against Texas. I really do believe they will be good. I do not see them taking a step back. I think this offense will evolve under their new head coach. This is kind of the team that he likes to have with the talent that he has not been able to get throughout his coaching career, but he still made do with what he had. I got them winning this one big. Get me in the 40-point range. West Kentucky might get a touchdown in it. I think that's going to be it, but I got Bama winning this one big. I'll let y'all two Bama boys take it over and give me your thoughts.
Hey, huge game. Ushering in the Kalen DeBoer era, as we all know. This whole season, to me, is all about Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe has established himself as an actual leader. If you go and you look at the definition of leadership in the dictionary, I'm not going to tell you, you got to look it up, young people. But Jalen Milroe's face is going to be right there next to that daggum definition. This guy is infectious. He's talented. He's athletic. He's polished. Right, everything I'm hearing is they're talking about how polished and refined he's become as a quarterback. The talent is still there. Offensively, these guys are going to be fantastic. I think we have to keep a close eye on the secondary. If that secondary shows any weaknesses early on in the season, and believe you me, their opponent this weekend, the only chance they have to even remotely try to stay in this game is to test the secondary. They're going to do it. They need to make sure they don't show any weaknesses this weekend because teams are going to continue to try to exploit that throughout the course of the season. And if they can't keep up, they could possibly get beat. But as long as they keep that at bay, Alabama's going to be completely fine this weekend. They're going to be completely fine for the rest of the season, and they're going to win the SEC.
Yeah, Sean, I blame you for a lot of my stress for the past 10 years. Just because the last time we took a trip, well, not the last time, one of the 2 times we took a trip down to New Orleans to Bourbon Street was to go to the Sugar Bowl to go see Bama play in a big-time game, well, a big-time loss down there versus Utah. Since then, this has been an amazing ride in Nick Saban train. And I think we've seen the top of the mountain. But for what people think the fall off is going to be with Kalen DeBoer is not what everybody I think is going to be expecting. Jalen Milroe, to me, has the chance to be the next great Alabama quarterback. And I think that's something that really has to be a period in its own, has to be a statement in its own because everything else around it is so much. It's so thick. I think that when you think about what this team can be, you have a potential Heisman candidate in quarterback. You have a running back room who's not thin. You have a receiving core who has to be top 5 in the country. You have an offensive line who has veterans. And the defense is something that's going to be something. If you could just hold it together, 21 points in a game, you're going to be top 10 in the country. Secondary is a big question mark, but to me, with Damani Jackson transferring over from USC, was a top 10 recruit in the country when he came out of college. When you think about Keon Sabb, when you think about Malachi Moore, When you think about Devontae Smith back there in the secondary, we got a lot of guys who are veterans, not too much playing experience, but are veterans in overall defense. So I don't think it's anything to scuff about. Kalen DeBoer, to me, is coming in the perfect situation to win because of who you got at quarterback. So if he could bring in any type of formula that he had at Washington when it comes to success to Bama, they're going to be a top 3 team in the SEC this year. No doubt. They got some juggernauts on this team, but to me, they got 3 or 4 huge games that if they can come out on top of those games, this is going to be a national championship type season that can come together. So it's so much of, are we going to fall off or are we going to hit the peak again? To me, I think the best way to show off Kalen DeBoer is to win the national championship his first year. That might be my Alabama bias coming out. That's all right if it is. It's week 1, so we can all be skeptical about a lot of different things. But to me, I think this team is something that everybody has to watch week in and week out. They're talking about they're going to be putting up points in this on this team. That's scary. Especially when you think about the athleticism that Jalen Monroe has is going to bring to the table. It's going to be something that I think is going to be hard to stop. So to me, it's the first season where I really get to watch things and just be a fan of what happens on Saturdays. Starting this week, I think it's going to be a lot of wins and very few losses. So to me, I got Bama winning this one huge. I got us putting up 60-something points just because it's showing who we still are as the powerhouse in the SEC. So I got us winning this game huge. And then coming to 4, we're going to roll into this next couple weeks smooth and easy. Georgia's going to come to town. I think that's the next time we're really going to go in depth about what Bama's going to be for the season. So we're going to talk then. Bama up big this week. Let's go. Roll Tide.
And look, let's not forget about this. When Nick Saban retired, a lot of players left. Some left and came back, right? They were like, "Hey, wait, I left. It was a knee-jerk reaction. I got to come back home. Home, home is where the heart is. That kind of thing." We saw it this with Florida State. You know what I'm saying? Roydell Williams left, and he lost his opener, which his old coaches used to win it. These the players that stayed have a lot to prove. They have a lot to prove, and don't you think for 1 minute Kalen DeBoer is not massaging all of this season? Now, if Kalen DeBoer wins the championship this season, they're going to say it happened with Nick Saban's players and recruits. Okay, fine, whatever. Kalen DeBoer will be fine with that. He's a national championship coach. He's fine. He is the most primed new coach in college football in 2024 that can win a national championship. I'm talking about brand new coach. I was here last year. I'm over here this year. I can win. That's Kalen DeBoer. He can do this. We're going to find out whether he is elite or not this year, because he's probably got the most talent that he's ever had in his entire coaching career right now. So we're going to see, man. I can't wait. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide.
All right, hanging. Moving on, going to Ole Miss at home, taking on Furman. Big win for Ole Miss. I'm gonna skate past this one. This is a statement year for Lane Kiffin, though. I think Ole Miss is the portal king, is whatever you want to call that team of bringing guys in. I think you've got ample supply of talent. I think there's another team that's sitting in that right outside that, we talked about those top 3 in the SEC. That's sitting in that 4 to 6 range of who's going to take that next step to be a dominant team in the SEC, not only this year, but a lot. But Lane's thing is he'll start off strong and then taper off later on in the season. But it is a big year for them. I think this will be a big game, how they normally start off the seasons. Fanfare, band playing, girl screaming, all that kind of nonsense. Hey, get it rolling down there in Ole Miss. Ole Miss wins this one big.
Yep, Ole Miss with the win real big. What I'd love to see is Ole Miss and Missouri playing this weekend. That right there would tell me which of these two actually belong. Because like you said, the SEC, everybody's trying to make these two teams sit right here in this little middle pocket of the SEC, kind of right here on the edge. I want to see them play. I want to see them play to see really which one of you two actually deserve to be in, let's say, elite status. But anyway, I'm expecting, as I always do, big things out of Lane Kiffin. I think he's a genius as a play caller. I think he's a genius as a recruiter. I think he's a master communicator, but he loses interest late. And that may end up being his downfall. But I got Ole Miss winning the game.
Yeah, I think the season trajectory is going to be everything for Lane Kiffin. This message is directly towards Lane Kiffin. You got to have your team ready to play all games this year, all of them. You're starting off on an easy schedule for the first 6 to 7 games. It's going to be pretty much of an easy way up, but you cannot falter late in the season. You're going to have a very, very tough middle to end of the season for this team. If you stay healthy, if you stay in the game with a star quarterback you have in Jackson Dart, you're going to be ready to win these big time games when they come at you. So, can this be the year? I feel like this is every year we say this for Ole Miss, but to me, we're getting on the back end where that's starting to become fatiguish, saying, can we do this with Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss? So to me, this is one of their last stands. If not the last stance, is next to last. You're not going to go into 2026 with a team that you think is going to really be top tier again after you lose some of these players that you got right now. So Lane Kiffin, it's going to be all about you and what you can turn these boys into. I really hope this team can be a top tier team in the SEC, but that means you're going to have to knock off some of the big dogs. You got LSU and Georgia on your schedule this year. You're going to have to beat at least both of them to be able to get that accomplished. So it's going to be tough things for Ole Miss to come. But hey, they got really nice jerseys. They got a really cool fandom. They got a really cool stadium now. I think they got some upgrades in the past couple of years. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see up there in Ole Miss. But this is going to be a season where it's time to prove it. Prove a year for Ole Miss. I think they're going to win this game very, very flashy, very, very big. I got them winning by 28 points. So we're going to see what they're going to show this year for us. But Lane Kiffin is all on you.
Yep. Moving on, we got another night game. We got A&M at home taking on Notre Dame. This is a big time game. Notre Dame coming to the season as a top 10 team right now. A&M's looking at this as being a 3-point favorite is what the line is right now, Monday night. I think they're only getting that favoritism because they're at home in College Station. The night environment for College Station, I think, Sean, we went there before. It's a very loud, very runctious, very weird fan base. You know, they're kind of cult-like. They got a lot of stuff going on out there in the middle of nowhere in Texas. I got Notre Dame winning this one. I got A&M losing it. They got a new head coach, got the coach coming over from Duke. I think they've got some talent there. They lost some guys to the portal once Jimbo was gone. But in that same breath, I think Notre Dame's coming into the season saying, hey, we finally got some veterans on our team, and they're trying to make a statement. And I think they do make a statement going into College Station and getting game one into this college football season.
I have to agree with you. I'm a big fan of Notre Dame coach from what I saw last year, and really and truly, it's like they didn't have the best season in the world, but you're kind of replacing. He kind of came in. I'm not gonna say with scrutiny, but he kind of came in like you replacing Brian Kelly and this that whatever. You got to do your thing, right? You're at Notre Dame. You're the coach of Notre Dame, and you're black, right? So we got to get it. I like him for all those reasons. A&M, I think Mike Elko is going to actually have A&M in a short period of time at a very nice trajectory in regards to their place in the SEC. Lord knows if he doesn't, they're going to just continue to fall, which is crazy for a school like A&M with so many resources. Again, I'm talking about resources. Why these colleges that have all these resources, why are they not like really excelling? I don't know. I don't know. But this game, I have Notre Dame sneaking in the College Station, landing at that little airstrip right there by next to the stadium, and sneaking out with a victory. It's gonna be close. Could be a 3-point game. I'm not putting a number on it, but it could be close. But I do think that Notre Dame and its coaching staff is ready for a big year. Notre Dame knows for a fact that they can make it to the college football playoff, even if they lost possibly 2 games, if it's the right 2 games. But just because of who they are and the way they schedule. So, this one they got to get. He knows it. They'll get it. Notre Dame's got this one.
So Notre Dame is such a funny team. I feel like they've never recovered from being haunted by what Bama did to them in national championship. Between Bama and Manti Te'o, they might have dug a grave for this team that they've never been able to get out of. So I think this new era in college football and this coach for Notre Dame really getting a experience behind him to where now he can really know what he's going to do week in and week out. I think it's gonna be interesting. Starting the season off with an SEC team like Texas A&M, I think is very sneaky, very great marketing done by Notre Dame because it's an SEC team that you can beat
Yeah.
and say, yes, we beat them. We beat Texas A&M. Who the hell cares? I think when you think about what this team is for the whole totality of the season, I think Riley Leonard transferring over from Duke to Notre Dame is going to be something that a lot of people are going to be fascinated to watch. A quarterback that's got some film that knows how to play the game that can really succeed. Um, I just don't think they have enough. They can win. They can win this weekend and still not do anything else the rest of the season that's entertaining until we get to the playoffs. Now, on that standpoint, I think Notre Dame for the next 5 years can make like 4 playoffs just because of how their season plays out and that they're going to be a talking point.
Yep.
Are they going to win a championship? Hell no. Because they don't get enough recruits coming in. They're not a transfer portal type team where they're fascinating enough to where people really going to transfer there to do anything big. But I think for a weekend like this is exactly what Notre Dame needs. A chance to beat an SEC team in a fashion where you're the better team on paper, and you can actually go out and prove it. So to me, I think that Texas A&M has a long way to go in their recuperation of who they are as an organization, rebuilding themselves and getting back top recruits to the point where they can contend for a championship. So I think it's just how many wins can we get out through a season to make ourselves entertaining. This one right here is going to be one that I think can be an upset, but I don't think Notre Dame's going to let it fall. They should be the better team. So Notre Dame by 14 points. And give them a 2 round of applause that y'all gonna be the SEC team. Y'all can put it on y'all record, and we'll talk to y'all later when we beat y'all in another big game. It's coming down the road. We know it. So we'll see.
Yep. All right, down to our last 2 games. We got Auburn at home taking on Alabama A&M. I think it'll be an easy win for Auburn. They'll go in here, get a little something going on, get a little smolder going to a little fire that's supposed to be building down there. I think they'll win this one fairly easy. I think just put this game in the same boat as the South Carolina game, put it in the same boat as the Mississippi, the Tennessee game, all that kind of stuff. It's just a week 1 game. It's a feeling game. Figure out what you got, go from there. But Auburn wins this one, easy game, night game. Nobody be watching this one. Everybody be watching the Bama game. Ain't nobody watching none of these other ones at night. Auburn wins it. What you guys think?
Man, I may switch over and check out the band at halftime, man. Kudos to Auburn for scheduling the HBCU on the opening weekend. You know what I'm saying? Listen, it's going to be going down, Jordan Hare, man. Alabama A&M, they're going to take that ride down I-65 from Huntsville, and they're going to hang that left on the 85 when they get down there to Montgomery, and they're going to pull into, and listen, the band is going to be rocking. They're going to get the brakes beat off of them on the field, the football field it is. But the band, A&M wins the day. Listen, I got Alabama A&M band 105-2 over Auburn. Let's go, A&M.
Yeah. So this game right here, to me, this Saturday, August 31st, is going to be such a good Saturday of football. I refuse to ruin my night watching Auburn play. Like, there's just gonna be so much things. There's gonna be so much more better on TV to do. There's gonna be so much more better things to do than watch Auburn play. Auburn is the type of team that they'll watch them on Sunday where I don't have NFL, where I wait until 7:30 for that game to come on for LSU. And there's just so much other things that I just can't think about doing. So that's when I decide to turn on Auburn football. So to me, I think Auburn can be an interesting team this year because of the name. You want to see them succeed, but because I'm a Bama fan, I hate them to death. So I think this game is going to be something that Auburn fans are going to like. They're going to win. They're not going to do a lot of winning this season. I think for guys like me and Sean, finding amusement in the bands is something that we can attend to, we can get up about. But I think Auburn is going to get a win. I don't think they're going to be anything entertaining. We're gonna talk about them later on in the season because to me, it's nothing else to talk about but their ugly colors and how sorry they are. But they're the lesser team in Alabama, and I think their band is going to show that this weekend.
All right, moving on. Last game on the slate, we got Kentucky at home taking on Southern Miss. Give me a big win by Kentucky. You got Brock Vandegrift, the five-star quarterback, transferring over from Georgia. I think this is finally the season where Kentucky kind of falls off the map. They'll win this one kind of big, but Kentucky for the last, 3, 4 years has done a great job marketing themselves because their first 7 weeks of the season, they always schedule cupcake games that they go and win. So then they get ranked, they get in the top 15, then they start having to play SEC opponents, and then they get smacked and fall back down to reality. Um, They'll win this one pretty good. The offense will look good. They'll look flashy. They got Key out at receiver. You got Brock, the new shiny quarterback in town. We said the same thing last year with Devin Leary coming in from North Carolina State. It's the same story, different season. But I think this year finally it catches up to them. I think this schedule will beat them down later on in the year. But enjoy this one while you can. Yeah, Kentucky wins this one big.
Don't they usually wear them real shiny helmets? Them
Oh yeah, that chrome.
helmets, them chromes in that first big game they played that they actually lose when the losing streak starts.
Yeah.
Man, I love Kentucky for that. Man, I love them for that. Listen, one thing Mark Stoops is a consistent, right? I actually think on a serious note, when we talked about Missouri earlier, I think Missouri are they trying to be Kentucky? Right? And that's just a question for the audience, right? Are we trying to beat Kentucky? Or are we going beyond, right? Because what Mark Stoops has done has basically written himself a lifetime contract because he's consistent. I'm not sure what the balance sheet looks like in Kentucky, but I would almost have to guess he's making them money. The fan base is supportive enough. The team is good enough to where the balance sheet is in the black every year. There's no reason to get rid of Mark Stoops. There is not. He's going to put a decent team on the field. He's going to get you ranked, and every once in a while, you're going to be in a playoff conversation. Congratulations, Mark Stoops. Missouri, is this who you want to be? That's what I want to know. Kentucky with the win. Good night.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm going to make a point this season to be more positive to certain teams. I got a friend down here in Charleston. He's a Kentucky fan. I'm not going to say nothing negative about this team in week 1. So I'm going to end this video on a high note and say, hey, Kentucky's going to win a game. They got a brand new quarterback to look forward to. They got ugly jerseys. Oh, that's something negative. They got jerseys that are wearable. They got jerseys that are fun and noticeable when you see them on the field. So I think Kentucky's going to have a really good Saturday. I think they're going to end the night Saturday as winners, which is something we cannot say a lot of about Kentucky fans. So we can high five to that. But as long as for a season, it is yet to be seen. With a new quarterback coming from the Georgia tree, I hope it's some positivity that you can absorb and leak into the rest of the team and the fandom. But for this week right here, go Kentucky. Y'all got this win. We're going to see y'all next week.
Hey, look, well, thank everybody for tuning in. I know this video might have been a little long. It's first video of the season. Hey, predictions up and down. I think it really went really well. We want to thank y'all for tuning in. If this is your first time checking us out, come back. We got videos coming out throughout the week. We got a live stream every Sunday. Come on in, enjoy us. We bring the personality, we bring the fun, we bring the jokes. Hey, give us your hot takes. If you want to get on us about a team or an opinion we got towards your team or whatnot, let us know in the comments. We gonna respond. We gonna engage with you. This is what this podcast is about. We here for conversation. We here for the challenges. We here for the fun. But go ahead, hit that subscribe button so y'all can come back every week, and then hit that bell also so you get notified whenever we drop something new. Until then, we'll see y'all on Sunday for the reaction video. We'll revisit this and see what the records stand. But at the end of the day, hey, SEC all day. We'll catch y'all next time.